Honorable Michael Pompeo, Secretary of State of the United States, Honorable Tarak Balasuriya, Minister of State, and Madam Ambassador, members of the delegation, Mr. Secretary, firstly I wish to welcome you and your delegation to Sri Lanka in this warm and pleasant weather amidst your busy schedule. Tomorrow, the 29th of October 2020, marks the significant milestone of the 72nd anniversary of the establishing of diplomatic relations between Sri Lanka, then Ceylon, and the United States of America. So indeed, it's a very important day and a visit, Secretary of State, that you have taken to be with us. For over 7 decades, our two countries have nurtured a strong relationship founded on shared values of democracy and socio-economic orientation. The relations between our peoples go back to mid-1800s, predating the formal establishment of diplomatic relations. Over the years, this engagement has significantly matured into multifaceted relationship, covering political, economic, educational, cultural, defense spheres, including maritime matters. Equally important, the people-to-people interaction between our two nations. In this context, it gives me immense pleasure in extending to you my esteemed counterpart from the United States, Honorable Michael Pompeo, warm and cordial welcome to Sri Lanka. The fact that you have chosen to visit Sri Lanka despite formidable challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic, dedicating your time and sharing your insight is heartwarming. Excellency. Your wide-ranging discussions with His Excellency the President, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, and our own discussions have generated a renewed momentum to the conversations with key American interlocutors have had with Sri Lankan leaders over the past months this year. Mr. Secretary, you are visiting Sri Lanka at a historic moment. The world is challenged with COVID-19 pandemic of unimaginable proportions affecting our lives, livelihoods, relations across the borders. In the 1930s, Johns Hopkins University in the United States commissioned the study to develop the Ceylon public and community health system, which contributed towards Sri Lanka's successful health system. Mr. Secretary, Sri Lanka is the oldest democracy in Asia, where citizens have enjoyed universal franchise for almost 90 years. From a more dynamic perspective, it is also a time in Sri Lanka where the democratic ethos and practice have stood strong, with the Sri Lankan people resounding expressly their free choice through two major electoral processes of presidential and parliamentary elections. These elections reflect the people's mandate to safeguard the unity of state sovereignty, territorial integrity, national security, economic progress, presenting a clear opportunity for all our friendly nations, especially the United States, to join in our forward journey for a stable, secure country with economic advancement. The United States is one of Sri Lanka's major development partners, with over $2 billion worth of development assistance in wide-ranging areas, including agriculture, environment, natural resources, health, education, business development, trade and humanitarian assistance. The US remains Sri Lanka's largest single market with exports of US dollar 3.1 billion in 2019, and even the present context of COVID-19 related market downturn remains in a smaller position with US dollars 1.1 billion for the first half of this year. The US has been a friend and assisting Sri Lanka in times of difficulty, and we remain deeply grateful for your support. US assistance to Sri Lanka after the Asian tsunami in 2004 was significant. I recall the visits of former President George Bush Sr. and former President Bill Clinton. The assistance in the aftermath, also in the recent times, of Easter Sunday terrorist attacks in April 2019, and also most recently for the COVID-19 mitigation. Especially, I also extend my sincere thanks and appreciation once again for proscribing the LTT terrorist organization even before 9/11 attacks and up to now. And as we go along, Secretary, today's discussions are a continuation of interactions of His Excellency President Gotabaya Rajapaksa with key US interlocutors, dialogue which took place virtually between myself and Secretary Pompeo a few months ago. It has been an opportunity for both sides to understand each other's priorities, share insights and consider steps to further elevating bilateral engagement on agreed areas of cooperation. In furtherance of making our bilateral engagements more robust, we have agreed to convene the next session of the US-Sri Lanka Partnership Dialogue 4 in early 2021, and also progress on several areas including economic, defense, and research through intensified coordination. Next sessions of the Joint Council of the Trade and Investment Framework Agreement will also be convened on the earliest possible time frame. It was also considered opportune to broaden our bilateral engagement in areas such as ICT, cybersecurity, agriculture, science, technology, innovations, and trade and investment, business, and climate change. As a sovereign, free, independent nation, Sri Lanka's foreign policy will remain neutral, non-aligned and friendly, conscious of the opportunities and responsibilities that come with our strategic location. We see the importance of maintaining the freedom of navigation in our seas and airspace, also protecting sea lines of communication and the undersea cables. We believe all countries should adhere to and respect international law, including the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. We share views on the potential multifaceted maritime cooperation which Sri Lanka is keen to progress. Secretary, Pompeo's visit and the discussions have further enhanced our warm and friendly relations. And once again I extend my grateful thanks to you, Secretary Pompeo. Finally, let me wish Secretary Pompeo and Mrs. Pompeo, who is joining him on this visit, a pleasant stay in Sri Lanka and safe travel in Asia in the next few days. On behalf of the people of Sri Lanka, I wish you Ayu Owai, and I give the floor to the Secretary of State.
Thank you.
Newsfirst, Sri Lanka's most trusted news brand, keeps you informed wherever you are. All you need to do is follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Newsfirst, Your life, our news.